Ambassador Thex Ali of the Galactic Council stood before the assembled delegates, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into prismatic patterns. The emergency session had been called after disturbing reports from the Sol system reached the Council headquarters on Nexus Prime. "Honored delegates," Thex Ali began, his voice resonating through the translation matrices, "we must address the situation regarding the humans." A ripple of unease passed through the assembly. The Vraxian representative, her tentacles writhing nervously, spoke first. "Are they still refusing our diplomatic overtures? It has been 57 standard cycles since the Betrayal Accord." The Betrayal Accord. Even now, 3 years after its ratification, the name left a bitter taste in Thex Ali's consciousness. The Council had voted unanimously, save for Earth's lone voice, to sacrifice human colonies to appease the destroyer fleets from the void expanse. 17 billion human lives traded for temporary peace with an extragalactic threat that promised to spare the rest of the galaxy. It had seemed logical at the time. Humans were newcomers, barely 2 centuries into galactic society. Their technology was impressive, but not irreplaceable. Their colonies were on the galactic rim, far from the core worlds that truly mattered. The mathematics had been simple: sacrifice the few to save the many. "They have done more than refuse our overtures," Thex Ali replied, his form flickering with distress. "They have left." The Andromedan delegate's mechanical voice carried a note of confusion. "You mean they've abandoned their remaining colonies?" "No, honored delegate. They have left reality itself." Silence descended upon the chamber like a suffocating shroud. The various species represented beings who had mastered faster than light travel, conquered entropy, and reshaped matter at the quantum level struggled to comprehend the implications of those words. Councillor Zareth of the Temporal Monitoring Division materialized at the center of the assembly, his form constantly shifting between past and future states. "The reports are unprecedented," he announced, his voice echoing across multiple time streams simultaneously. 3 standard days ago, at precisely 15:47 Galactic Standard Time, the Sol system simply ceased. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien languages as delegates demanded clarification. Zareth raised a appendage that existed in 7 dimensions, calling for order. "Not destroyed," he continued, "not moved. It ceased to exist in any measurable sense. Where Sol once burned, there is not empty space, there is nothing. Not void, not vacuum. An absence so complete that our instruments cannot detect even the memory of its existence." The Vraxian delegate's skin paled to a sickly green. "That's impossible. Matter cannot simply cease to exist. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed." "Under normal circumstances, yes," Zareth agreed. "But the humans appear to have transcended normal circumstances. Our temporal scanners show something far more disturbing. The Sol system has been removed from the timeline itself. It never existed." Thex Ali felt his crystalline structure beginning to crack under the stress. "Explain." "Yesterday, we discovered that all records of humanity have begun fading. Trade agreements, diplomatic documents, even personal memories of interactions with humans are slowly dissolving from existence. The process appears to be accelerating." The Keth Mori representative, an ancient being whose species had witnessed the birth and death of galaxies, spoke in a voice like grinding stone. "The humans had been developing temporal manipulation technology. We knew this. It was one of the reasons we chose them for sacrifice. We believed their research was primitive, decades from practical application." "It appears we were wrong," Zareth replied. "Analysis of the quantum signatures suggests they didn't just remove themselves from space, they removed themselves from the causal flow of time itself. They have become a closed temporal loop, existing outside the normal progression of cause and effect. The Andromedian delegates' optical arrays flickered with rapid calculations. The energy requirements for such an operation would be astronomical. They would need to harness the power of their star, compress it through dimensional folds, and channel it through temporal matrices that shouldn't be possible to construct. Unless the Kethmori Elder rumbled, they had help. All attention focused on the ancient being. His form, older than most civilizations in the galaxy, radiated knowledge accumulated across eons. There are entities that exist beyond the normal flow of time. Beings who view causality as we view a river, something to step into or out of at will. The humans, in their desperation, their rage at our betrayal, may have sought bargains with forces we barely comprehend. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Council had betrayed humanity to save themselves from the destroyer fleets. In response, humanity had not sought revenge through war or terrorism. They had simply taken their entire civilization, their history, their very existence, and removed it from reality itself. Ambassador Velmora of the Centaurian Collective, who had been quietly consulting her quantum databases, suddenly looked up with terror in her multifaceted eyes. The historical records, they're changing faster now. References to human technology, human art, human philosophy, they're all disappearing. It's as if they're taking every trace of their contribution to galactic civilization with them. Thexali accessed his own memory banks and felt a chill that penetrated his crystalline core. The humans had given the galaxy so much during their brief membership in the Council. Medical advances that had saved trillions of lives. Artistic expressions that had enriched countless cultures. Philosophical insights that had reshaped entire civilizations' understanding of existence. All of it was vanishing. There's something else, Zarath announced, his temporal form flickering more rapidly now. The destroyer fleets, the ones we sacrificed humanity to appease. They've stopped. Stopped attacking? Thexali asked hopefully. Stopped existing. They've been retroactively erased from the timeline. The threat that drove us to betray Earth never existed in the first place. The horrible truth settled over the assembly like a plague. Humanity had not only removed themselves from reality, they had rewritten history so that the very reason for their betrayal had never occurred. The Council had sacrificed 17 billion innocent lives to prevent a threat that, in the new timeline, had never existed. But they still remembered making that choice. They still carried the weight of their betrayal, even though the betrayal now served no purpose and had never been necessary. The Kethmori Elder spoke one final time, his voice heavy with the weight of eons. We believed we were saving the galaxy by sacrificing the humans. Instead, we taught them that the galaxy was not worth saving. So they left and took with them every good thing they had ever brought to our civilization. As if summoned by his words, a message appeared in the chamber's central display. It flickered in and out of existence, fighting against the temporal erasure that was slowly consuming all traces of humanity. The face of Admiral Sarah Chen, last known leader of the Human Defense Force, appeared for a few precious seconds. Her voice, distorted by dimensional static, delivered humanity's final message to the galaxy that had betrayed them. You taught us that mercy is weakness, that trust is foolishness, and that in your universe, the innocent exist only to be sacrificed for the convenience of the powerful. We have learned this lesson well. We leave you to the galaxy you have chosen to create, one without hope, without second chances, and without us. May you find the peace you sought through our destruction. The message faded, and with it, the last traces of humanity's existence began to disappear from the historical record. The Council had betrayed Earth to save the galaxy. Instead, they had lost everything worth saving, and time itself would forget they had ever had it to lose.